Welcome back to Persona Q2. For some reason I almost said reload, I don't know why. But yeah, speaking of reload, I've leveled up a lot of the P3 party and also, well, pretty much everyone. Everyone is in the level 52 to 54 range at this point, which I think will make things a little bit more manageable against the basic enemies. But it also means that my wild level has gone up to 60. And you know what that means? We should be adding a 9 to that because it's Mara time! Of course, he learns Miracle Punch, the ultimate fisting attack. You might notice that Alice does not have Die For Me anymore. But I have not registered her yet. My plan here was to put Curse Amp onto Joker and then buy back the version of Alice with Die For Me. Slight problem with that, though, is Curse Amp's going to be really helpful on somebody like Mitsuru for fighting the bear. So I think I'll keep it for now, but that means I can't fuse away Alice at this point. I think I'd rather register the version of Longinus with Power Charge, even if it means giving up its inheritable skill. And I would like double-triple Link on Kartikeya. Now I should be at the right level to make Norn via triple fusion. I'll take Fast out of a Hunting Prayer because I pretty much get all the drops from enemies anyway, just because I fight a lot. Now, I can get Jeanne d'Arc as well, except the Sraosha I currently have is terrible for that. Why not fodder him into Daisojo? Because really the only thing I want Daisojo for is Samsara against enemies weak to Bless. And I also want to get rid of Ophanium because I think I can fuse a better one myself, so Kingu, I guess. Don't exactly care about Kingu as a persona, I may even end up sacrificing him. No, yes! I can't skip this! I think it's an accident! Finally! Oh, I've been waiting so long for this. Okay, I'll take that. Yeah, Zitsu Middle's pretty good. I'm just glad it wasn't Mara, because I kind of want to make a better version of Mara myself. Maega, Mudoon, Mazionga, that's okay. But yes, that is, you know what? I think that might be my favorite fusion accident animation in the entire series. The P3 Reload one's pretty fun too, as is the P5 Strikers one, but that one is just takes the cake because, like, I've seen it often described as when Margaret, like, puts Caroline back, it's almost like she's silently saying, "Here, you dropped this." Now, Bug can be a solid physical persona for starting out with Bound Arts Plus. I am actually not opposed to this. Vorpal Blade, Heaven's Blade, and... See, okay, I weirdly don't find Power Charge as useful in this game as you'd probably think, because, like, here's the thing about Power Charge, it only applies to your next attack, and it's kind of useless for skills that get stronger when you're boosted. I'll explain more once we get into a battle, because it'll be a bit too long-winded to go over on Fusion. Unfortunately, there is no way to get thrown into Mother Harlot, because I don't have ice on any of my sub-personas, and there's a lot of things weak to ice in this area. But I suppose I can move the Bless skill, Bless Boost, and then it's a choice between Heat Riser or Heroic Gemini. You know what? Actually, I'll take both and ignore Bless Boost. I want Bless more for knockdowns than straight-up killing things, so I get more all-out attack finishes. Junk plus buying Belial again will get me a persona I've never had before. Oh, actually, that's better than nothing. And by shield and heal your wounds, he means I will confuse your enemies and make sure they never hurt you. Well, Belial's just going through the ringer today, but I would really appreciate having a thrown into Orphanium Fusion, because this way I effectively get increased inheritance slots, because I don't need to spend one on Wind, because you already start with that. So I can now pass down Maragion, Masayo. I want to pass Fire Boost, but also nothing else I have has Guillotine Blade, and that's a really good skill. I want to keep that in the persona pool, at least. Oh, right, we wanted a better Sroisha for Jeanne d'Arc. Okay, you know what? Making her a Link persona might not be a bad idea. Here's the thing, it's like, why is it that the main Link skill I have that has a boost is the one that's going to be useless against Enlil? The thing is, any Link skill with its elemental boost does insane amounts of damage, so I am just going to have to pass down one. Because via you, I can get Jeanne d'Arc, and she can take Wind Strike Link, Wind Boost, and, well, if I only have room for one Link, I may as well go for quadruple. I am so glad that she is a persona in this game. Like, she might actually be one of my favorite overall SMT demons, but she's not in a lot of games. Okay, I'm gonna want to get back Mother Harlot, but making you my super ailment persona is extremely tempting. Oh, you know what? Some of the late game FOEs are vulnerable to Hex. It's not an amazing ailment because it requires you to take damage in order to bounce the damage back to them, but it's an option. I would prefer to have poison, though. And yep. I like how he has a fair... Well, it's actually unique. I'm pretty sure that's also Satan's summoning quote, but still. Makes sense that they share one. One annoying thing about going Ophanion into Baphomet is that I can't pass down Psy because you're a nuke persona, and that's the opposite element. But, like, I guess there's no harm in having, like, 2 magic-optimized personas? And I can also pass Guillotine Blade to more things. I'm gonna be buying back a lot out of the Compendium after all this. Oh, frick, I just realized. Orphanium would not have been auto-registered because it wasn't my first time making Orphanium. So, I've actually lost Orphanium. Lethargy Circle is really nice because it's a chance of Agility Bind, though with Bind Arts plus Scarecrow, I probably have all the Agility Bind I need. Okay, so I guess you can, like, sort of replace Orphanium as a side persona. I could have a potential Shura Tensei magic build on you. I guess I'll take that. Don't have a lot of MP, well, you know, SP. But yeah, you have mostly HP. Okay, Kingu is pretty much the only persona I can make now that I don't have. Besides, that one that requires Bifrons that was way earlier on in the game. So I now have 70% personas registered. Is Yusuke gonna still be motivated when I go to the dungeon? I guess we'll find out. Yes, he is indeed still motivated. Okay, let's go. Unfortunately, I don't have Mara equipped on this party. I know, you're all complaining. It just wasn't particularly suitable to this, like, party. I couldn't find a party member who was, like, that good for his skill set. And the elements he had were already covered by other sub-personas that I have. But rest assured, you will see him one day. I mean, you already did, but you'll see him in battle one day. So, I want to try something here. Now that we have the wind turbines active, via that sweet... Hi there! Well, at least you have a weakness for moving sideways. I am actually wondering if we can just end this floor now. Because there's an entire half of the map that we haven't been able to explore yet. And I'm going to leave anyway because I forgot to change the difficulty and the animation settings from when I was grinding. But this is mostly an experiment anyway. Yeah, this is it. This is the stairs. We can just leave. Opening that shortcut there is the only way you're able to do this. And we're even able to access a shortcut from here that you're normally not meant to unlock until after you've explored this entire eastern side of the map. But, like I said, I'm going to have to go back and fix up my difficulty. Ironically, I'm offering a sacrifice to Jeanne d'Arc here, and that's going to give double link, and of all these things, as much as I want to use her for magic, I don't have, like, Dying tier spells on many things, so I'm going to get rid of Blade of Fury. Okay, so, this is going to be fun. That is just giving me absolute flashbacks to the Aegis Myriad Arrows incident for Persona Q1, and I'm all for it. Yet more reasons why I love Jeanne d'Arc. Oh, and I'm also critting with bugs. Because Bound Arts Plus. Yeah, I thought for a moment that was Longinus, but no, I just passed down most of Longinus' skills onto bugs. Who would win, the Roman legionary who pierced Jesus on the cross, or a teddy bear? But yeah, we have this entire half of the map that is pretty much optional at this point, but I'm going to be doing it for, you know, completionism and for this chest. I am glad Longinus is in this game in general, just because of the connection to Persona 2. But yeah, at this point, like, exploring this area backwards, this really isn't how you're, like, I almost feel like it's an oversight that you're able to skip so much of this floor just via that shortcut. Although it's also kind of cool that a whole chunk of a floor is optional, but like, yeah, you're probably not meant to explore this segment of the floor backwards. That shortcut down there is only meant to be unlocked after you've reached, like, the very end, after traversing everywhere else on the floor. I still have my Korga skills, right? Oh, right, no. The reason why I didn't equip Longinus for the Korga skills was because of, the fact that Crow, yeah, already has light skills, just naturally. Okay, so all of that happened, that follow-up, that all attack and everything, and then I got the double attack activation. So, as I'm about to unleash multiple attacks here that have the stronger in boost benefits, let me just explain what I was saying in the fusion session about why I kind of feel like Power Charge isn't super useful in this game. So, think about it like this. When you're using an attack that is stronger in boost, you have to have got the boost the previous turn for that. And in order to get the Power Charge benefit on top of that, you would have had to have preemptively used a Power Charge in an earlier turn, got the boost with a magic attack, and then use the Power Charge boosted physical attack. Like, it's really impractical overall. Or you could set up the boost with Hikari's Cheer. Okay, that animation does look pretty cool. I think that's the first time I'm seeing Korga on. But yeah, in general, it's kind of a lot of hassle just to, like, get your absolute strongest physical attacks via Power Charge. We've got enough Heaven's Blades to not need that right now. I probably will replace it with the better version if Yusuke even learns that, and, it's been a long time since I gave my bio, so I'm, especially for the Phantom Thieves, so I'm, you know, forgetting whether or not he actually does learn that naturally, but given this is Yusuke in Q2, he probably doesn't. Somebody in this game clearly... Actually, no, Yusuke was treated fairly well character-wise in that Flanderization quest. Sadly, I actually got that unison attack in grinding, but I wasn't recording at the time, so I'm not able to show it. Yeah, those things are pretty meh, but, you know, at least we got the... Actually, hang on, I still have the treasure in you, don't I? Is there another treasure spot further up, or... Oh, no, there actually is, so it'll be more efficient if I go for that one before I use the treasure in you. I am confusing, and Salome's kissing you, just so you don't petrify anyone. Which I probably should have been doing from the very beginning. I've had way too many stoned people in this run of the dungeon, please don't take that out of context. Well, it'll be an all-out attack. I'm not sure I really need this, because I guess it's about to unleash a boost-boosted Vorpal Blade with Bound Arts Plus against the thing that is currently bound. Yeah, here it comes. And also, it was a double attack! Oh, okay, yeah, this team setup is pretty fun right now. Yeah, Yukari's healing is eventually going to get outpaced by Medea Rahan, but that's not going to be until effectively, like, post-game levels. So for just the main story up to that, because like, for perspective, other people with Mediarama are healing about 170 right now, and Yukari's healing like 360 to 370. So, yeah, Yukari's definitely my best healer for this point. It's kind of like that sort of, you know, thing people say about Fire Emblem in the sense that, like, you know, judging things entirely by their endgame potential isn't always the wisest. Because yes, in the endgame, Yukari is gonna be not as good of a healer as the others. However, oh, I should have filled up those tiles earlier. I like how Crow was just kind of, well, actually, he wasn't bragging. He was actually saying, look out, it's mind charging, but, it was still really funny to see him giving, like, a battle advice, then all of a sudden he just gets smacked with a Zeodine and it's like, ah! I'm getting a lot of follow-ups today. Okay, well, it's not so much risking life for floor tiles, but it's risking inconvenience for floor tiles, because we're getting blown over here. And now we're back. Okay, with that damage, I think that would have actually one-shotted Yusuke if it weren't for, and that wasn't even charged. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that was lucky. Getting just enough to knock that down without killing it. Would not have got the all-out finisher otherwise. I was actually just going for... Also, I don't want that. I already... Wind Strike Link is already enough for me. But okay, just a little further to go, and we can also open up a shortcut back into this area. And there's another FOE. Oh, you're back. Haven't actually seen any of you so far. But that means we can try out our buffed Jeanne d'Arc Wind Strike Link. I think that's actually, like, as much as I hype that up, that might be the first time I've ever seen Aegis Shield activate this entire playthrough. Oh yeah, what I was saying earlier about, like, you know, valuing, like, you know, just how a character performs even before the absolute endgame. It's always how I felt about Ryuji back in the original Persona 5. Just because, like, yes, he does get Mataru Kaja and Power Charge, but he also doesn't get those until... likely not until the final dungeon. Thankfully, I were able to escape from you on that side, and we can put a rock here, because obviously where there is an FOE, there is going to be rubble. So you've smashed that open, can't get through there. I'm actually going to let this chase me down here just so I can mark out these floor tiles. Don't know if they're even required, but I'm gonna have to use a... Actually, could just use a Go Back K. Unfortunately, I had to switch the wind to make use of this shortcut. So Amrita in this game is a full heal and a full ailment cure. But, again, can I really spare it on your moveset? Not really. And now I probably can't even spare a spot for immunity buffer either. Also just realized the treasure renew is going to be useless now that I have a full inventory. But, I also just realized another thing. Yeah, we need that fan to blow us over that gap. It was actually a complete coincidence that I had the, fans in that configuration. But I will certainly take it if it makes exploring this area easier. Yeah, down here just leads to a chest. Alright, yes. So, what I realized earlier is, you know how last time I was complaining about the fact that you can't use status cure items on the menu outside of battle? like Amrita sodas? Well, there is an obvious reason for that I feel dumb for not realizing, and that is that in this game, Petrify is essentially the only ailment that persists after battle. You wouldn't need to use an ailment cure outside of battle for every other status, like even poison goes away after a battle's over. And yet, for some reason, Bugs' sacrifice skill is just Invigorate 1, which is not a bad skill to have, but also, I kind of like all of these, so as much as I hate giving up on... And then a Navigator skill... Yeah, I don't like it when Navigator skill... Like, when non-Navigator personas just get Navigator skills. I get that it gives you some flexibility in how you build them, but, like, it just... You don't really want those on a non-Navigator persona, so it just kind of just spreads the skill set too thin. There's the expression to use. I'm gonna throw away a bunch of items because I really want to get, glowing patch. Yeah, I would rather have the sacred trinkets, but still. So yeah, I was just sort of thinking about, like, how that whole ailment thing plays into things, because, like, this game is very much about, like, this is kind of one of those, like, more survival-based RPGs where you gotta kind of ration your HP and SP between different encounters and think about, you know, when to push your luck and when to keep advancing through a dungeon. For example, I don't particularly feel like taking this fight because I'm so close to completing the floor anyway. But ailments don't actually factor into that. The way that this game handles ailments is they're more a temporary debilitation for a single fight, and then it's over. But that debilitation can be quite severe. Debilitation might not even be a real word.
Let's go!
But yeah, this is going to give me just a couple of steps here. Oh, although that's going to blow me all the way back over. So down here, there should just be an event tile. And yeah, given that I'm at 99%, I think I do need to switch off the fan and step on the tile in front of it. It is true, the atmosphere here is a little bit of a sensory overload. Granted, that's kind of how cinema advertising works. One of the things that I always found really, I don't know, weird, well, not weird, but like, whenever I was watching, like, movies and, like, ads back in the day, there was, like, sometimes they would have ads for ads. There was this company called, like, Val Morgan Cinema Advertising that handled the, like, actual advertising in cinemas, and there would often be ads for them, and for a while, they used to straight up say, a captive audience, as one of their selling points. They got rid of that eventually, but, like, the fact they was straight up telling the people in the cinema, you are a captive audience and we are advertising to you when you can't run away from us. You will be forced to see our ads. Like, it's actually kind of like, I don't know how to describe it exactly, but, like, I get the sense they did remove that because it didn't really make their brand look that good, even though it was being pretty honest. You know what? That's pretty much literally Junpei's storyline in Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. But yeah, it is canon that Shinjiro likes animal flicks. You know what? I just realized, Yusuke would probably like Spirited Away. Granted, all of these smorgasbords of delicious food in that film are, it's not meant to be a good thing, from what I remember. It's meant to represent the decadence of the bathhouse, and it kind of lures patrons in, and just like the cinema advertising, how it makes you a captive audience. Oh, Makoto Yuki, you should not have asked that question. Is that really the kind of movie Crow wants to be inside? I do wonder about that. Well, I mean, honestly, yeah, I can see that being a plot. The outlaw with a shocking past, huh? I wonder who you might be alluding to with that, maybe. I mean, it's not necessarily a Naruto X Kanji reference, but yeah. There's definitely not much of that in this game. The original Q had quite a bit of Naruto Kanji ship tease. But yeah, I've said this many times that that's kind of a pairing that I really go back and forward on. Nowadays, I'm less into it as I used to, especially since Naruto doesn't really seem to show romantic interest in, like, anybody. Though at the same time, I really don't like the Naruto and Yu pairing. It's like one of the ones I just... yeah. At the same time, like, I don't want, like, the potential remake to, like, completely neuter and rewrite that one. Although I am curious how if they handle it the same way they did the platonic roots in Reload, how, like, if you reject the romance entirely, you get a completely different, like, rank for the one that's normally the romance split. I think I heard you said corkscrew straight. I wonder if that's a common boxing move or it's just a video game thing. I've always liked how the Cyclops enemies flip over like a coin when they're knocked down. But yeah, like, I'm talking about the way, like, P3 Reload has 3 different routes for the social links, and yeah, I would much rather have that over Psycho Smash. The fully platonic route, the rejection route, and the romantic route. And I do feel like Naruto has interesting potential for a fully platonic rank up. But yeah, they should leave the romance in. I'm more just, I'm a little worried that they might, like, given the precedent that was set by, how they handled the answer, I'm a little worried they might overcorrect for Naruto's romantic social link, along with some other aspects of her. Of course, the moment that I get rid of the AoE side skill, 2 sideway enemies show up. So where am I missing it? Oh. Oh, right! I never actually, blew myself over to that side of the map. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, 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 no. Okay, hang on. Persona. Who's fastest here? Yosuke. Okay. I don't have Risei. Are you gonna be fast enough to use the Vanish Ball before the balance goes, is the question. Oh boy. Because I don't think I saved. Don't kill Yosuke, please. Don't kill Yosuke, please. Don't kill Yosuke, please. Thank you! Okay, good. We're good. But that'll be a lesson to me to always save when I get back to the lobby. But anyway, that's map done. I was hoping for a follow-up. That's perfect. Well, yeah, what better way to end the floor exploration that was full of follow-ups? Do almost wish there was a better way to control follow-ups, like that maybe you could, like, spend a navigator gauge to do them or something like that. But yeah, we got this group to almost 54, and yet the game is still telling us the enemies are stronger than me. However, we get the reward for this chest. The Sovereign Pin. Grants use of Royal Song. Recover SP for each step taken in the Labyrinth. Yeah, Sovereign is another class from Etrian Odyssey. But having passive SP recovery for every step in the Labyrinth is pretty nice, especially on somebody not Koromaru. So, I'm just going to head down to the next floor just to register it as a warp point. But if there is a cutscene, I'll pick up here next time. No, there's not. Okay. Well then, yeah, I will just be heading back to the lobby, and next time, I think I'll put this off as long as I can. Next time, we're going on a bear hunt.